Welcome to A Glimpse of China. I am your host, Bola. And this episode focuses on the third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee. The convening of the third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee has not only pointed the way for the future direction of China's economic development, but also injected newfound confidence and new momentum into the stability and prosperity of the global economy. A series of major economic policies discussed and formulated at the plenum will further promote high-quality development, deepen reform, and strengthen our integration into the global economy. The China Insight session will briefly introduce the summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation to be held in September. The third plenary session of the 20th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China was held in Beijing from the 15th to the 18th of July 2024. The meeting was attended by 199 Central Committee members and 165 alternate Central Committee members, with some grassroots comrades and experts and scholars in attendance. The meeting was chaired by the Political Bureau of the Central Committee, and Chinese President Xi Jinping delivered a keynote speech. The plenary listened to a discussed Xi Jinping's work report commissioned by the Political Bureau of the Central Committee and considered and adopted the resolution of CPC Central Committee and further deepening reform comprehensively to advance Chinese modernization. The plenary session fully affirmed the work of the Political Bureau of the Central Committee since the second plenary session of the 20th Central Committee, particularly emphasizing that in the face of the current complicated international situation and arduous domestic stacks, the key to promoting Chinese modernization is to further deepen reform comprehensively. The meeting clearly outlined the strategic goals of essentially realizing socialist modernization by 2035 and building China into a great modern socialist country by the middle of this century, with a focus on reforms in the areas of the economic system, social development, cultural construction, ecological civilization, and national defense. The resolution adopted by the third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee clearly defines the theme of further deepening reform comprehensively, emphasizing that during the current and future critical period, Chinese modernization should be advanced in the comprehensive manner to achieve the building of a strong nation and national rejuvenation. The overall goal of this reform is to improve and develop the socialist system with Chinese characteristics and to promote the modernization of the country's governance system and capacity. The meeting outlined 7 focal points, covering key areas ranging from the construction of a high-level socialist market economy to enhances the party's leadership. Meanwhile, the plenary emphasized 6 principles, including adhering to the party's overall leadership, putting the people at the center, and upholding fundamental principles while breaking new ground. Through 14 systematic deployments, the resolution provides a detailed plan for China's future development, encompassing all aspects of the economy, democracy, rule of law, culture, people's livelihood, ecology, and security, with the aim of further promoting China's high-quality development, safeguarding people's well-being, maintain national security, enhancing global competitiveness, and fostering the country's sustained progress and modernization process. This series of reforms will propel China to play a greater role in the complex international environment and through innovation, openness, the rule of law, make positive contributions to global governance. Right after the third plenary session of the 20th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, meetings of party groups, party committees, general meetings of all party members and cadres, and thematic meetings was held by the Central Committee of the CPC and the state organs and people's organizations. The substance of the session was conveyed in the variety of ways. It is studied and discussed in a wide range. Cadres and masses from all parts of China, including the Hong Kong and Macau special administrative regions, have also studied and implemented the substance of the third plenary session of the 20th Central Committee of the CPC in depth. The successful practice and great achievements of the comprehensive deepening of a reform since the beginning of the new era are mentioned, and the strategic plan of the third plenary session of the 20th CPC Central Committee to further deepen the reform in all aspects and promote Chinese modernization are earnestly comprehended. And the implementation of such measures must be planned in the light of practice. It is agreed by all that we should gather strength to forge ahead and be practical and pragmatic. A broad prospects for Chinese modernization should be achieved in further deepening the reform in a comprehensive manner. On the 26th of July 2024, the International Department of the Central Committee of the CPC held a special briefing on the substance of the third plenary session of the 20th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, foreign countries in China. The briefing was attended by more than 150 senior diplomats, including over 100 ambassadors and charges d'affaires. Members of the Central Preaching Group, along with the head of the International Department and relevant experts, elaborated on the main achievements and great significance of the plenary session. They emphasized that China will further deepen reforms in an all-encompassing manner, advance modernization along the Chinese path, persist in perfecting the system and mechanisms in order to open up at a high level and adhere to the path of peaceful development, thereby adding new momentum to the realization of common prosperity for all countries. Foreign ambassadors congratulated on the adoption of the resolution, saying that it is of far-reaching significance to China and the world and will have an important positive impact on the recovery and development of the world economy. They hope that the opportunities can be shared for mutual benefits. On the 29th of July, the International Department of the Central Committee of the CPC organized a special briefing on the substance of the third plenary session of the 20th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China for foreign business personnel in China. The event was attended by more than 120 representatives from business associations and enterprises, as well as economic and trade officials from numerous embassies. I have a short clip. Let's take a look.
中央宣讲团成员、中联部负责人和有关专家阐述20届三中全会的主要成果和政策举措。与会外资企业负责人、在华外国商会代表及外国驻华使节就中国式现代化的世界意义、高水平对外开放新机遇等内容同专家互动交流。与会外国工商界人士表示，中共20届三中全会是世界了解中国共产党政策及中国未来5年发展规划的重要窗口。中方提出的一系列改革方针和发展举措，也将对世界经济复苏产生重要积极影响。
On July 24th, the International Department of the CPC Central Committee and the Hunan Provincial Committee of the CPC jointly held a briefing to introduce the major measures adopted by the plenum to further deepen reform comprehensively to advance Chinese modernization. More than 200 foreign guests from over 50 African countries attended the briefing.
从生产看，创新的动能不断培育增强，产业转型升级扎实推进。同时，新投资保持较快增长。1至5月份，高技术产业投资保持了2位数增长，快于全部投资7.5个百分点。
现代化产业体系也在加快建设，新质生产力培育成长。 规模以上装备制造业、高技术制造业增加值增长快于全部规模以上工业，占这个全部规模以上工业的比重达到32.8%和15.5%。
从需求方面看，国内需求有望继续恢复。消费方面，今年以来，文旅等服务消费需求保持活跃，市场销售不断扩容提质。投资方面，今年以来，各地区各部门加快项目开工建设，同时企业技术改造投入也在加大，投资规模扩大，结构优化。
从这个1到5月份看，设备工器具的购置投资同比增长了17.5%，制造业的技术改造投资增长10%，都保持了比较快的增长。下阶段，随着这个两中建设项目的陆续下达开工，资金保障力度的加大，实务工作量将会加快形成，投资的规模将继续稳步扩大。
从政策支撑看，宏观政策的效力在持续显现。今年以来，我国密集出台和抓紧落实了一系列宏观调控政策，为促进经济回升向好发挥了重要作用。
从这个前5个月，刚才说到经济运行的总体的回升向好的态势来看，以及我们对下个阶段的生产需求、政策等支撑因素的这个总体的这个判断来看，我们认为下阶段经济运行仍会继续的保持回升向好的态势。
Analyzing by industry, the added value of the primary industry reached 3.06 trillion Chinese yuan, growing 3.5% year on year. The secondary industry reached 23.653 trillion Chinese yuan, growing by 5.8%, and the tertiary industry reached 34.9646 trillion Chinese yuan, growing by 4.6%. Analyzing by quarters, the GDP of the first quarter grew by 5.3% year on year, while on that of the second quarter grew by 4.7%. In terms of quarter-on-quarter growth, GDP in the second quarter increased by 0.7%. With new quality productive forces accelerating it. In the first half of the year, the industrial added value of enterprises above a designated scale grew by 6% year on year, and the added value of high-tech manufacturing enterprises above a designated scale grew by 8.7% year on year. The modern service industries, represented by information transmission, software, and information technology services, maintained a double-digit growth rate in added value. China's opening up policy has been crucial in driving economic development and fostering international cooperation. In recent years, China has made significant strides in advancing high-level opening up, particularly through comprehensive reforms and upgrades across various sectors. These efforts have ensured a smooth progression in the open-up process and have laid a solid foundation for achieving broader and deeper international cooperation. First of all, China has systematically expanded institutional opening up. The core of institutional opening up lies in protecting fair market competition for all entities and enhancing the transparency and predictability of economic activities by refining laws, regulations, and institutional frameworks. In recent years, China has enacted the investment law for foreign enterprises and further reduced the market access negative list, ensuring equal treatment for foreign-funded enterprises operating in China. These measures have not only significantly boosted foreign investors' confidence, but also greatly facilitated the economic cooperation between China and other countries. Secondly, China has deepened institutional reforms in foreign trade, which are crucial for enhancing the quality and benefits of foreign trade. To achieve this, China is refining its trade structure, encouraging the exports of high added value products, facilitating service trade, and promoting new modes of trade, such as international e-commerce. These reform measures have not only markedly improved China's competitiveness in global trade, but have also made important contributions to stable growth in the global economy. Furthermore, deepening reform in regulations for foreign investors and outbound investment is also a key step in China's opening up strategy. Foreign investment and outbound investment are essential drivers of economic globalization. China is attracting more foreign investment by reforming investment regulations, streamlining approval procedures, expanding market access, and improving the intellectual property protection mechanism. Simultaneously, Chinese enterprises have made significant progress in standardizing and diversifying their outbound investments. These enterprises are actively contributing to the global value chain, advancing the high-quality development of two-way investment and cooperation. China has also taken important measures to improve planning for regional opening up. Recognizing the imbalance in regional economic development, China is enhancing its planning to promote balanced growth across all regions. Through the Belt and Road Initiative, the level of opening up in the eastern coastal regions have been continuously elevated, while the Midwestern and Northeastern regions have also seen strengthened efforts. This has created a new landscape of opening up where all regions can complement each other with their respective strengths. This new landscape will not only boost regional economies, but also further enhance the overall competitiveness of China's economy. Last but not least, China is committed to improving and promoting mechanisms for building a high-quality Belt and Road Initiative through joint efforts. The Belt and Road Initiative is a crucial strategy for China to facilitate global economic cooperation. To ensure the high-quality development of the Belt and Road Initiative, China is continuously enhancing relevant mechanisms, such as strengthening policy communication with participating countries, promoting the integration of infrastructure, deepening trade and economic cooperation, and encouraging people-to-people exchanges. These efforts have not only stimulated economic development in the participating countries, but have also provided a new model for global governance and regional cooperation. In summary, through these multifaceted efforts to promote high-quality opening up, China has not only achieved consistent economic growth, but has also made positive contributions to the stability and prosperity of global economy. Looking ahead, China will continue on the path of opening up, seeking common development with other countries to achieve win-win cooperation. I have a short clip. Let's take a look.
国家发展改革委主任郑山杰表示，中国培育和发展新质生产力，推进高质量发展，将给中外企业提供无限可能的市场机遇。未来，中国将进一步扩大高水平对外开放，
更大力度的引进外资。在增值电信、基因诊断和治疗技术开发和应用等领域开展准入的试点，加快出台2024年版的外商投资准入负面清单。
财政部部长蓝福安表示，今年中央财政将与地方财政联动，对大规模设备更新和消费品以旧换新予以支持。
我们将积极在税费优惠、政府采购等方面，对各类经济体一视同仁，持续建设市场化、法治化、国际化的营商环境。
国际货币基金组织总裁格尔基耶娃在发言中说，国际货币基金组织预测今明2年全球的经济增长将超过3%。中国目前在人工智能准备方面处于新兴经济体前列，并且在绿色出行方面取得了快速进展。
从中期来看，中国将继续成为全球增长的关键贡献者。根据我们的分析，全面的市场改革方案可以为中国带来额外的增长。未来15年实体经济的额外增长将达到20%。
世界银行集团行长彭安杰表示，当前国际社会面临诸多挑战，旷日持久的冲突、难以应对的气候危机等问题加剧了全球不平等状况。
A decade ago,
10年前，中国曾面临严重的空气污染问题，但中国已今非昔比，蓝天成为常态，民众呼吸的空气更清新，寿命更长，无论老幼都能享受公园绿地。这就像中国经济的崛起一样，是艰苦努力的结果。
Positive remarks by foreign political party dignitaries, experts and scholars. Foreign businessmen in China are optimistic about the opportunities of China's opening up strategy.
3中全会强调高科技发展，然后培养科技人才嘛。中国的现代化技术加上中国的制造业对这个世界非常重要。
I will remark the continuing opening up in different industries, including telecommunications, banking, even hospitals. China itself represents around 1/3 of the global growth in terms of GDP. The China role is undeniable in the world economy.
The world is in chaos, and China is the major economy that is stable. I think the very important thing is that China is still committed to globalization. The policy in China, like One Belt, One Road, shows the world that China is committed to globalization.
Today, I think we have learned a great deal of how the resolution on the third plenum came about. It really takes a long period of study, research, and also field hearing from the field. So the resolution really reflects the needs of the Chinese people.
And everyone recognizes that mainly because of the international geopolitical situation, the global economy is not doing very well. And when the Chinese economy does well, the global economy does well too. So it's very good that this plenum, which just finished last week, try to focus on quality, productive forces, and modernization and openness. These are very important words. Malta is part of the European Union, and everyone recognizes that engagement with China remains very important, both for Europe, for China, and for moving forward for our peoples.
The 2024 FOCAC Summit is scheduled to be held in Beijing from September 4th to 6th. Since the forum's founding in 2000, this marks another significant high-level meeting. The summit will bring together leaders, dignitaries, experts and scholars from China and over 50 African countries, along with representatives of international organizations, under the theme Joining Hands to Advance Modernization and Build a High-Level China-Africa Community with a Shared Future. The summit will engage in depth discussions on topics such as economic and trade cooperation, green development, infrastructure construction, agricultural technology transfer, healthcare, scientific and technological innovation, and more. Participants are expected to reach a consensus on advancing bilateral relations to a new level, accelerating Africa's economic recovery and achieving sustainable development. The Chinese government is anticipated to announce a series of new policies and cooperation initiatives aimed at deepening economic and trade ties with African countries and supporting Africa's infrastructure development through the Belt and Road Initiative. During the summit, both sides are expected to sign a number of new cooperation agreements, clarifying the direction of China-Africa cooperation in the coming years and further promotes the building of the China-Africa community with a shared future. Political parties and dignitaries across Africa hold high expectations for the upcoming 2024 FOCAC Summit. They view this summit as a valuable opportunity to deepen China-Africa relations and advance economic and social development throughout the continent. African leaders are eager to leverage China's investment, technology transfer, and development experience to achieve breakthroughs in key areas. Infrastructure construction is a major priority for African countries, and their leaders are hoping to secure increased Chinese support for the development of railways, roads, ports, power facilities, and other critical infrastructure. Such advancements are seen as essential for upgrading transportation and energy systems and accelerating industrialization across Africa. In the agricultural sector, African countries are hoping to learn from China's advanced agricultural technologies to boost food production capacity, promote agricultural modernization, and enhance food security. Moreover, African leaders are looking forward to strengthening cooperation with China in education, healthcare, and scientific and technological innovation. They hope to build Africa's capacity for independent development through talent cultivation and the introduction of new technologies. African countries are also eager to explore ways to further expand economic and trade cooperation, optimize trade structures, and achieve mutual benefits and win-win outcomes. Many African political parties and dignitaries have emphasized that China is a crucial trading partner and source of investment for Africa. They acknowledge that China-Africa economic and trade cooperation has provided significant momentum for Africa's economic growth. There is a strong belief that under the framework of the Belt and Road Initiative, cooperation between the two sides will be deepened further, helping African countries integrate into the global supply chain and enhancing their influence in the global economy. Overall, African countries are optimistic about the future of China-Africa cooperation and believe that this summit will further strengthen the strategic partnership between the two sides, promoting Africa's independent and sustainable development. Leaders generally anticipate that through the summit, China-Africa cooperation will enter a new phase, contributing to the prosperity of the continent and the development of the entire world. China remains committed to its belief in collaborative development with the rest of the world. The Third Plenary Session of the CPC Central Committee, a significant milestone in China's reform process, has further clarified the direction of China's future development and strategic priorities. The series of reforms proposed during the session will promote comprehensive innovation and breakthroughs across economic, social, scientific, and technological fields in China. Additionally, these reforms will deepen the modernization of China's governance system and inject new momentum into global cooperation. Through deepening reforms, China will expand its cooperation with the rest of the world in a broad range of areas, share the benefits of its development, and work together to tackle global challenges, ultimately achieving mutual benefits and win-win outcomes. The success of the Third Plenary Session signals that China will adopt a more open and proactive approach to promoting the recovery and prosperity of the global economy. This concludes today's episode of A Glimpse of China. Thank you for your attention. The next episode of A Glimpse of China will be aired in September 2024, focusing on the FOCAC Summit. If you want to know more about this important event, please stay tuned. I'm your host, Bola. I look forward to seeing you then.